Can you really change your life in just 1 week? It might sound unrealistic, but after integrating these 5 habits inspired by Stoic philosophy, I experienced a profound transformation in my mindset, productivity, and overall well-being. The Stoics believe that small, intentional changes in our daily routines could lead to greater control over our emotions, improved focus, and a deeper sense of purpose. In this video, I'll be sharing 5 powerful habits that completely changed my life in just 7 days. These are not just generic self-improvement tips, but practical, actionable habits rooted in the wisdom of great Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Whether you're looking to become more disciplined, reduce stress, or simply improve the quality of your daily life, these habits can help you get there. I encourage you to try them out for yourself, even if it's just for a week. The smallest changes, when done consistently, can lead to incredible results. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into the first habit. You won't want to miss this. Habit 1. Waking up early, mornings of purpose. For most of my life, I was never a morning person. My bed was my best friend, and I would hit the snooze button more times than I could count. Mornings felt like a chaotic rush. I would wake up late, scramble to get ready, and start my day feeling stressed and unprepared. But after reading about the power of morning routines from both modern self-improvement experts and ancient Stoic philosophers, I decided to give waking up early a real chance. The results were nothing short of life-changing. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote in his Meditations, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of, if I'm going to do what I was born for?" This simple yet powerful idea changed my perspective on mornings. Instead of seeing waking up early as a burden, I started viewing it as an opportunity to take control of my day before the rest of the world woke up. At first, it wasn't easy. The first few days were brutal. My body resisted the new habit, and I felt groggy and unmotivated. But by the 3rd day, something changed. I started to appreciate the quiet stillness of the early morning. There was something magical about being awake when the world was still asleep. Without distractions, I had time to focus on myself before the chaos of the day began. With the extra time, I started incorporating simple but effective morning rituals. Instead of scrolling through my phone first thing in the morning, I did a few minutes of light exercise, nothing intense, just stretching or a short jog. This small habit gave me an instant boost of energy. I also practiced morning meditation, setting my intentions for the day, which helped me feel more grounded and focused. Another unexpected benefit of waking up early was the feeling of being in control. Instead of feeling rushed and behind schedule, I had time to enjoy a slow morning. I sipped my coffee without hurry, had a healthy breakfast, and planned out my priorities. This unrushed start to the day set a positive tone that carried throughout the rest of my daily activities. One morning, I had a particularly profound experience. I stood on my balcony, watching the sunrise as the sky slowly changed colors. In that moment, I felt a deep sense of gratitude and peace. It was a simple yet beautiful reminder of how much we take for granted when we constantly rush through life. Of course, waking up early may not be for everyone, but I encourage you to give it a try. Start small, wake up just 15 minutes earlier than usual, and gradually increase the time. Use those extra moments in the morning to do something meaningful, whether it's reading, exercising, journaling, or simply enjoying a quiet cup of tea. It's not just about having more hours in the day, it's about using those hours to create a mindful and intentional start to your morning. This habit may seem simple, but it has the power to transform your life. When you start your day with purpose, everything else falls into place. Habit 2. Daily exercise, strengthening the body and mind. I used to be the kind of person who always found an excuse to skip exercise. "I'm too tired, I don't have time," or "I'll start tomorrow" were the usual phrases I told myself. But one day, I decided enough was enough. Inspired by the Stoic idea that taking care of the body is just as important as training the mind, I made a commitment to exercise every single day for a week. The results were incredible, and this habit quickly became a non-negotiable part of my routine. Seneca, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, once said, "We treat the body rigorously so that it will not be disobedient to the mind." This quote resonated deeply with me. The Stoics believed that discipline in physical training was not just about health but also about mental strength. They understood that a strong body supports a strong mind. Exercise is not just about aesthetics or fitness, it's a form of self-discipline, a daily practice of pushing past comfort and embracing challenge. At first, I kept it simple. I committed to just 20 minutes a day. No pressure to do an intense workout, just movement. Some days, I did light stretching or yoga. Other days, I went for a short jog or did basic bodyweight exercises. The first few days were tough. My muscles were sore, and I felt exhausted, but I reminded myself of why I started. By the fourth day, something amazing happened. I woke up feeling more energized, more positive, and less irritable. It was as if my body and mind had finally aligned. One morning, I decided to go for a run. The air was crisp, the sun was rising, and for the first time in a long while, I felt a deep sense of clarity. It was just me, the open road, and my thoughts. That run became a turning point. It was no longer about forcing myself to work out, it became something I looked forward to, a moment of peace and self-connection. Beyond the physical benefits, I noticed a significant shift in my mindset. Exercise became my time to disconnect from the chaos of the world and reconnect with myself. It wasn't just about burning calories, it was about releasing stress, resetting my mood, and building mental resilience. Every workout, no matter how small, was a reminder that I had control over my actions, my energy, and my life. One of the biggest surprises was trying yoga for the first time. I used to think yoga wasn't for me, that I wasn't flexible enough, that it wouldn't be a real workout. But after just a few sessions, I was hooked. Yoga taught me patience, presence, and the importance of deep breathing. It became more than just a physical practice, it was a mental and emotional reset that I never knew I needed. If you're someone who struggles with exercising, my advice is simple: start small and find a movement you enjoy. It doesn't have to be an intense gym session. It can be a walk in nature, dancing to your favorite song, or simple stretching in the morning. The key is consistency. Taking care of your body is taking care of your mind. And once you build the habit, you'll realize that movement isn't just about fitness, it's about strengthening your resilience, discipline, and overall quality of life. Habit 3. Journaling, mastering your thoughts. I used to think that journaling was only for people with plenty of free time or deep, introspective thinkers. I never considered myself one of them. My days were busy, and the idea of sitting down to write about my thoughts seemed unnecessary until I gave it a try. What I discovered was that journaling wasn't just about recording events, it was about gaining clarity, processing emotions, and mastering my own thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, practiced journaling daily. His book Meditations is essentially a collection of his private reflections, written to remind himself of the principles he wanted to live by. He once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Journaling is a tool that helps you take control of your mind. It allows you to step back from your emotions, reflect on your actions, and gain perspective on the challenges you face. The simple act of writing things down helps untangle the complex web of thoughts we all carry. When I first started journaling, I had no idea what to write. I stared at the blank page, feeling awkward and unsure. But I decided to start small, just 10 minutes before bed. I wrote about how my day went, what made me happy, and what challenges I faced. Within a few days, I noticed a shift. My mind felt clearer, my stress levels dropped, and I became more aware of my own thought patterns. One night, after a particularly stressful day at work, I opened my journal and wrote down exactly what had happened, how I felt, and what I could do differently next time. Seeing my emotions on paper helped me process them in a way that simply thinking about them never could. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, I felt in control. This habit quickly became a form of self-therapy, allowing me to deal with emotions in a healthy and constructive way. Beyond emotional clarity, journaling also helped me track my progress and recognize small victories that I would have otherwise overlooked. I started writing down my goals, both big and small, and reflecting on my progress. One entry that stood out was about a presentation I was nervous about. I had documented my preparation process, my fears, and eventually, my success. Looking back at that entry reminded me of how much I had grown, boosting my confidence for future challenges. Another powerful practice I incorporated was gratitude journaling. Every day, I wrote down 3 things I was grateful for. It could be as simple as a kind gesture from a stranger, a delicious meal, or the warmth of the sun on my face. This small habit shifted my mindset from focusing on what was lacking to appreciating what I already had. It brought more positivity and mindfulness into my daily life. Journaling doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need a fancy notebook or deep philosophical insights. Just write whatever comes to mind, your thoughts, experiences, challenges, or even a simple reflection on the day. The goal isn't to write perfectly, but to engage in the process of self-exploration and self-improvement. If you've never tried journaling, I encourage you to start today. Give yourself the freedom to express whatever is on your mind without judgment. Over time, you'll begin to notice patterns, gain clarity, and develop a deeper understanding of yourself. This simple practice, inspired by Stoic wisdom, has the power to transform not only how you think but also how you live. Habit 4. Mindful eating, discipline in the smallest acts. For most of my life, eating was something I did on autopilot. I would rush through meals while scrolling through my phone, watching TV, or working on my laptop. I rarely paid attention to what or how much I was eating, I just ate out of habit or convenience. But after learning about mindful eating and its connection to Stoic discipline, I decided to give it a try. What I discovered was not just a better way to eat, but a better way to live. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "We should eat to live, not live to eat." This simple idea shifted my perspective on food. The Stoics believed that self-control in small, daily habits, like eating, reflected our ability to discipline ourselves in bigger aspects of life. Eating mindfully is not about dieting or restriction, it's about developing awareness and intention in one of our most basic human activities. For 1 week, I committed to mindful eating. That meant no distractions, no rushing, and full attention to every meal. I set my table properly, put away my phone, and took a few deep breaths before eating. At first, it felt strange. I wasn't used to just sitting and focusing on my food. But within a few days, I began to notice some incredible changes. First, I actually tasted my food. It sounds simple, but when you slow down and pay attention, you realize how much flavor and texture you've been ignoring. A simple bowl of oatmeal became an entirely new experience: the warmth, the creaminess, the sweetness of the honey. Fresh fruits had vibrant flavors I had never truly appreciated before. Eating became more enjoyable, and I found myself naturally drawn to healthier foods. Another major benefit was that I started recognizing when I was full. In the past, I would eat until my plate was empty, without really thinking about whether I was still hungry. But mindful eating helped me tune into my body's signals. I noticed that I didn't need as much food to feel satisfied, and I naturally ate less without feeling deprived. One evening, I had a craving for something sweet after dinner. Normally, I would have grabbed a dessert without thinking. But instead, I paused and asked myself, am I truly hungry, or is this just a habit? I realized I wasn't actually hungry, I just wanted something to reward myself after a long day. So instead of eating out of impulse, I made a cup of herbal tea and enjoyed it slowly. That small moment of awareness made a huge difference in my relationship with food. I also became more conscious of how different foods made me feel. Heavy, processed foods left me sluggish, while fresh, whole foods gave me energy. By paying attention to how my body reacted, I naturally started making healthier choices, not because I had to, but because I wanted to feel good. Mindful eating also helped me recognize emotional eating. Before, I would sometimes snack when I was stressed, bored, or anxious. But by slowing down and being more aware, I started addressing the real emotions behind my cravings. Instead of reaching for food, I would take a break, breathe, or go for a short walk. This simple habit of eating with awareness changed more than just my diet, it changed my mindset. It taught me patience, discipline, and gratitude for the nourishment I receive every day. If you want to try mindful eating, start with just one meal a day. Turn off distractions, take deep breaths before you eat, and focus on the flavors, textures, and sensations of your food. Pay attention to your hunger and fullness cues, and ask yourself if you're eating out of necessity or habit. Over time, you'll not only improve your relationship with food, but also develop greater self-control and appreciation for the small moments in life. As the Stoics teach, discipline in the smallest acts shapes who we are. And if we can master something as simple as eating, we can master much more in life. Habit 5. Limiting screen time, reclaiming your attention. Like many people, I used to spend countless hours mindlessly scrolling through social media, binge-watching videos, and checking my phone every few minutes. At first, I thought it was harmless, a way to relax and stay connected. But over time, I started noticing the negative effects. I was more distracted, less productive, and constantly overwhelmed by the endless stream of information. My sleep suffered, my focus declined, and I felt like I was losing control of my own time. The Stoics believed that one of the most valuable things in life is our attention. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, warned about wasting time. People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. I realized that my excessive screen time was stealing the most precious resource I had, my time. So, I made a commitment. For 1 week, I set strict limits on my non-essential screen time. I allowed myself only 1 hour per day for entertainment, which meant no endless scrolling, no mindless YouTube marathons, and no late-night social media binges. At first, it was incredibly difficult. I didn't realize how often I reached for my phone out of habit. Whenever I had a free moment, while waiting in line, during meals, or before bed, I instinctively grabbed my phone without even thinking. But I stayed disciplined, reminding myself of the benefits of reclaiming my attention. One of the first things I noticed was how much extra time I suddenly had in my day. Instead of losing hours to my phone, I rediscovered activities I had neglected. I picked up books I had been meaning to read, I started journaling more, and I even tried new hobbies like sketching and cooking. It was eye-opening to see how much I could accomplish when I wasn't glued to a screen. Another major improvement was in my sleep quality. I used to take my phone to bed and scroll through social media until I felt sleepy. But in reality, this habit overstimulated my mind and made it harder to fall asleep. By eliminating screens before bedtime, I was able to wind down naturally. I replaced my nightly screen time with reading a physical book, meditating, or simply reflecting on my day. As a result, I slept deeper and woke up feeling more refreshed. Beyond productivity and sleep, limiting screen time also had a profound impact on my mental health. Without constant exposure to news updates, social media comparisons, and digital distractions, I felt more present and at peace. I noticed small moments of joy that I had previously ignored: the sound of birds in the morning, the warmth of sunlight, the simple pleasure of a quiet cup of coffee. Instead of constantly consuming content, I started engaging more with the real world. One of my most memorable experiences was when I spent an entire afternoon at a local cafe with just a notebook and a pen. No phone, no distractions, just me, my thoughts, and the environment around me. I wrote down ideas, planned my goals, and even sketched a little. It was one of the most peaceful and fulfilling moments I had experienced in a long time. Of course, screens are a necessary part of modern life, and I'm not saying we should eliminate them completely. But the key is balance. Technology should serve us, not control us. If you feel overwhelmed, disconnected, or unproductive, I encourage you to set some limits on your screen time. Start small, maybe reduce your screen time by 30 minutes each day and replace it with an offline activity you enjoy. Avoid screens before bedtime, take regular breaks from social media, and be more intentional about how you use technology. By doing this, you'll regain control over your attention, improve your mental well-being, and create more space for the things that truly matter. The Stoics believe that our attention is one of our most valuable possessions. Let's protect it wisely. Conclusion: small changes, big impact. In just 1 week, these 5 habits transformed my life. Waking up early gave me a sense of control over my day, daily exercise strengthened both my body and mind, journaling helped me process my emotions, mindful eating improved my relationship with food, and limiting screen time allowed me to reclaim my attention. Each habit, inspired by Stoic philosophy, reinforced the idea that discipline in small, daily actions leads to greater self-mastery and fulfillment. The Stoics believe that lasting change doesn't happen overnight, but through consistent effort. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. If these habits could create such a positive shift in my life, I truly believe they can do the same for you. Start small, pick just one habit and commit to it for a week. Observe how it affects your mindset, energy, and overall well-being. Growth isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Let me know in the comments which habit you're going to try first. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let's continue this journey of self-improvement together.